Ugh. Don't eat that. Don't eat that. That's gross. Hi guys, I'm doing the drugs. How are y'all doing this morning? Screaming, this is the first of your lives we've been to. Oh, well, good morning. Yeah, my lives are kind of sporadic. I apologize for that. I can't really stick to a schedule. I kind of just go, we'll just do this today. As long as I'm keeping my kids alive, you know, really, it's all I've got. So, thank you. I like my humor too. I'm kind of partial to it, but it's because I'm a bitch. So, I really enjoy being able to share that with the world. You know what I mean? Stay up late more often. Well, it's like 8:30 in the morning here. Where are you at, darling? The kids slept okay last night, but they didn't sleep as well as they did when they knew that I was recording. So maybe I should record every night. Good morning from Lexington. That's pretty great. I love Lexington. Go Cats. So this is 10. So I think I give her, yeah. We got new meds. Like these used to be 10 milligrams, but now they're 20. And so I'm like, how many pills do I give them? I think I do 2. So now I just do 1. I hate math. Gosh, so annoying. I am from everywhere. I'm a military brat. My mom's a Marine, so we moved around. I was in Japan, I was in Virginia, I was in North Carolina. But if you're asking where I live now, it's Hopkinsville, Kentucky. It's like a little, well, it's not really that little, 30,000 people, but it's little enough that people know who everybody is. When I first started driving, I was smoking, and I had people call my parents and say, I saw Whitney driving around and she was smoking a cigarette. Damn it. So 30,000 people isn't that many. At least that's what I think. I don't know if I was in Japan during cherry blossom season. I was 4. I remember Japan. I just don't remember a whole lot. I remember the food that we ate, and I remember where we lived. But other than that, I don't really remember a whole lot. So my husband and I are going to go back. $5,000 people? Yeah, that's probably a little bit smaller. I'm doing pretty good this morning. Owensboro, Kentucky. Heck yes. Yes, it is med time here. I'll show you guys what I got going on here. If I can, maybe I'll back you up. Oh crap, I'm sorry I dropped you. Is everybody okay? Sorry, that was a stupid joke, my bad. Alright, so I'm doing drugs. Ready to give him that one. So put all those back. But now I can't see the comments. Australia? Oh, can I just come live with you? Man, United States is kind of sucking lately, you know? I just really want to travel. I've got the kids' passports and stuff. We were going to take them to England. University College London is doing gene replacement therapy, and they're doing it on mice models with INAD. So we were thinking that we would be first in line. They still haven't put together a cure for kids like mine, so we're still kind of screwed, I guess, but still want to go to England, but I don't think that Harrison would be very happy about it. I'm sure his nurse would come with us, though. Like, she's a trooper, you know? A free trip to England would, you know, be hard. It would be hard on her, but she would do it, because she's just that good. Did I happen to get mail from Virginia? I got a lot of mail. What do I think of when you say upstate New York? I think West Point. That's because I've only been to New York City and West Point. So, what is upstate New York? Yes, I do aromatherapy, but like more, I do essential oils because eucalyptus oil inhibits the production of mucus. So I'll put a diffuser in their room during allergy season and have eucalyptus going on, so it kind of like helps them breathe better. Sometimes we'll use Vicks, but I won't put it on their body. I'll just like lay the can like in front of them so they're huffing it, because I don't want it to like burn their skin or, you know, be annoying to them. So, oh, thank you. I hope you win the lottery then. Do I ever prone them to help? I'm not sure. This video about you to pull meds for your son. Let's do it together. Let's do the meds together. Oh, hey, my doctor changed my meds, so I'm actually feeling pretty good. Hold on one second, I have to get the mortar and pestle. We do drugs old school in this house. Super fun. Shit. Hi, Moose. Hi, Moose. Come here. You want to say hi? Come here, Moose. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Good boy. Say hi, good boy. Okay, get down. You're wet. It's gross. That's why I pushed the meds out of the way. You're a good boy. Oh, the world's greatest mom. I would not take that one, but thank you. I'm just doing what I gotta do. Like, I think every mom is the greatest mom because we all have our different struggles. Like, some kids are just assholes, you know? Some kids are just have learning disabilities that make them lash out. Moms in general are just superheroes. So it's not just me, and I know it's not just me. So I'll never take that title, but thank you though. Where do I get all my energy from? This morning, Abilify. My doctor changed up my meds. So I think I'm still in like the honeymoon phase with the new drugs. That's probably what it is. Cause I'm normally like, fuck everything, you know? But this morning I'm not. The kids get all kinds of meds. So they get a lot of stuff that's prescription, but then they also get a lot of stuff that I did research on that they need to get. Like right now, Harrison has weak bones. So he gets magnesium, potassium, and calcium. And it's an adult pill, so I crush it up. I give him a half of one, and I crush it up, and then I give him vitamin D so that his bones can absorb it. If you're taking calcium supplements, you have to get vitamin D also, otherwise it's really useless. And then I crush it up in here. The kids also get Juice Plus, just because I think they need, you know, a little extra nutrients, I guess. So they get these, and I take the gummies. So it works out, I guess. Am I still fighting with my brother? No. We've kind of made up. We're not really like besties, but we do talk. So I guess it's not like World War III anymore. But he's still not my favorite person, but who's got a sibling that really is like their favorite person? Except for me with my sister is completely different than any other relationship I've ever seen, because we didn't really like each other a whole lot in high school until I told her I was pregnant with Natalie when I was 18, and she was in high school. She was a junior, I think. She could have been, no, she was a junior. Now, and my sister was the only one that was excited. I felt like I couldn't be excited because I'm 18 having a kid. And my sister, when I told her, she jumped up and down and screamed and clapped and hugged me and was just so excited, and has been that excited about my kids ever since. So the relationship that we have is definitely different than anything I've ever seen, because she moved in with me. We got a house together and we lived together for a few years. She helped me raise Natalie. We've been through a lot. I worked, she stayed home and took care of Natalie. Then she did waitressing on the side and went to school. So she would drop Natalie off at school, and then she would go to school, and then I would come home from work and Lindsay would have dinner made. So I called her my baby daddy. But I guess really I was the baby daddy and she was the baby mama. She was the one taking care of the kids. I don't know. When I get a job, Jason will be the baby mama, so that's fine. How am I doing? I am doing pretty good. I did get some sleep last night, and I'm looking forward to tonight because I'm actually going to get some sleep. So that's pretty fun. Jason said that he's gonna get home at 2. So I'm probably going to go to bed at 3. He's gonna make me like probably go to bed really early, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, I want to see him. I want to hang out with him and my children, but I also would like to sleep. So we'll see how early I go to bed. That's not the right one. Good. I'm not really that strong. I'm just I just do what I have to. Like this morning, the kids have been up for an hour. I'm just now making their meds. So, am I really that great? Oh, and why has it taken me so long to get to their meds? Because I was on TikTok. Because I was making TikToks. So, I kind of suck this morning. But the kids are, here, I'll show you. I'll show you the kids. I gotta go check on them anyway. I can hear them, but I still check on them every now and then. Okay, so I can't show you Riley all the way just because she's being calved. But the kids are doing good. So there's that. They're both pretty content right now, so that's good. Oh, look, I can see myself. How do I stay amazing? I look so good all the time. It's a beauty filter. The beauty filter is where it's at, okay? Like, just, and especially on the lives, you can slim down your face and enlarge your eyes and like get your skin all like pretty and stuff. Burrito babe. Okay, well I like that name. That's pretty freaking cool. New Zealand. Man, that's where I want to go. Well, there's a lot of stuff that I want to go. Do I pull meds daily or ahead of time? I have to do it daily because a lot of their stuff is refrigerated. So, so I don't know if you guys saw that, but I've got my kids' refrigerated meds right next to my alcoholic beverages. It just reminds me that every time I make drugs, it just reminds me to do something for myself. I don't actually drink all the time, but it does remind me like, hey, you're a person too. You should probably like do something for yourself. So there's that. Man, I feel like I'm talking like a mile a minute today. No, the nurses are not here every day. They're only here Monday through Friday. So on Saturday and Sunday, I am shit out of luck. Hold on one second. I got to get some hot water and some syringes. But I'm still here. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm waiting for the water to get hot. I'll be back in a second. And the water has to be hot so that I can melt these pills. Otherwise it'll take forever. There we go. That's better. Cool. And then some peanut butter powder too. So I have to get hot water so that these pills will melt because I haven't drawn them up yet. What time is it here? It is about almost 9 o'clock in the morning, like 8:45. I don't recommend trying this at home. Usually you have to measure this stuff out, but I've been doing it so long that it's kind of like a bartender with shots. Like a bartender just knows like 1, 2, 3, and then you're done. So that's the reason I'm not. What brand are my wigs? Oh, great. We have those trolls in here again. Do I have a moderator in here, or do I need to make a moderator? Okay, thanks, Amber. Okay. All right, so anyway, yeah, get rid of the wigs one, because if this was a wig, it would look way better, okay? Like, seriously. Would it really be this greasy and this, like, unkempt if it was a wig? Shit, well, it looked cute a second ago. Whatever, I don't care. Okay, I do care a little bit, hold on. There. Whatever. Can I hire weekend nurses? No. So, okay, there are 168 hours in a week, and I have been approved for 112 hours of nursing a week. But right now, I only have 50 hours a week of nursing. So, I want to use the other 60 hours for night nursing so that I can have 6 10-hour nights. So that means that I will be on my own on the weekend days, which is totally fine. I would much rather be alone on the weekdays or the weekends during the day than alone all the time at night, you know? Really, it's way better that way. Damn it, I keep forgetting stuff. I'm gonna grab a fork, but I'm still here, so I gotta mix some crap together. I hope I'll be getting some much needed sleep. I'm definitely getting sleep tonight. Jason is going to come home at 2. He doesn't work all day today, so thank God. He normally doesn't work Sundays, but the last few weeks, he has been working his ass off, and it's pissing me off a little bit because he's salary, so he's not getting any overtime. So it's like, it's not benefiting our family for him to be working his ass off all the time. So I'm just like, ugh. How old is my daughter? Well, I've got 2 of them. One of them just turned 16 on Wednesday. And Riley will be 8 on Halloween. She'll be 8? Jesus. That can't be right. No, she's 7. Harrison's turning 6 in July. Jeez. I can't be that old. How do I have a 16-year-old daughter? Natalie likes to tell me, in 2 years, I'll be twice your age. You'll be twice my age. And I'm like, shut the hell up. Frickin' teenagers. Yeah, salary is hard. Now, sometimes you get extra over a certain amount of time, like your salary is for a certain number of hours. The only reason I know this is because I have a degree in human resources. So I'm like, he should be getting paid extra for working extra, but he's not. So that's a little bit frustrating. But it's okay, I guess. I really hope these are the right meds. I mean, if they're not, it's not like it's a big deal. Some of it's Benadryl, some of it's acid reducer. Ooh, you know what? I should take one of those. So it'll be fine. If it's wrong, it's not like it's gonna kill anybody. I'm just kidding. I don't ever have that. I don't ever have that opinion on drugs. Okay, I'm just screwing around. So, but it's like muscle memory. I just do this, and it's a whole lot easier to do. Well, obviously, it's easiest to do sober, but it is easier to do the drugs when I'm drinking than it is to do when I'm sleep deprived. When I'm sleep deprived is when I make all the mistakes. So, if I know I'm about to have a rough night, I will write down everything and like put it out here on the counter, so in the morning I can just check off the list so that I don't fuck anything up, because that would really suck. I just don't want to screw over my kids, you know? They have certain hours for the kids. They have 112 hours. Yes. So we've got, I don't know what we're going to do the extra 4 hours. Well, the extra 2 hours really, per kid. I guess I could get like 2 hours during the day, but that would just be kind of stupid. So right now we've got 50 hours a week, and I'm going to use the other 60 hours a week to get a night nurse. So where am I from? I'm from all over, but right now I live in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. There's a reason why the syringes have to be pulled out before getting medication. Well, this one here, so I've got their pills in here, and I pull water in. That way the pills melt. I don't know if that's what you're worried about. Yes, Natalie's gonna go get her permit. She has to take she has to finish her class online before she can. Kentucky's really weird. Hey, 270 in the house. Where are you from? Are you from like Katie's, or a lot of places have 270 because it's like such a little area. And what's funny is 30,000 people. This is the 6th biggest city in Kentucky. Bar's pretty low, huh? Pretty freaking low. Paducah, that's awesome. No judgment, just eek. Oh, Nurse Jen. RN. I'm sorry I scared you. No, I definitely measure the crap out of the drugs. So, see, look, they're perfect. They're perfectly even. Because they each get 3 and 3. So, well, this says 6. 3 of one and 3 of the other. They're getting 3 of the gabapentin, and then they get 3 of the carbidopa-levodopa, which is a Parkinson's medication. It helps with tremors. So it helps them when like this, but it also helps the nystagmus in their eyes. That means wiggling eyeballs, if anybody wanted to know. And as an RN, you can totally judge, because my nurses judge me, so it's totally fine. If you see something dangerous, please call it out, because obviously I do not want to put my kids in harm's way, but I think I've been doing a pretty good job until now, really. Do they understand what they're going through? No. They started declining about a year of age, so they were too young to kind of comprehend that, or the concept of death, or anything like that. So no, they do not know what they're going through. In Louisville, well, I won't hold that against you. It's fine. I'm just kidding. Do I think I'll move after they pass? My husband and I are kind of planning on it, yeah. We don't know if we're gonna stay or not. But my parents live 3 doors down, so my parents are gonna leave me their house. So this is where we'll retire. How much do we spend on meds? Well, right now they're not covering, so Harrison is on a muscle relaxer and an antispasmodic, but apparently insurance is like, oh, you can't have both of those. And I'm like, well, he needs them both. So we're paying for one of those, which is like $30. And then all of the supplements and stuff we pay for ourselves, but they're all on the wish list on Amazon. So we actually have not had to buy supplements for the kids in a while, because my followers are so amazing. They're just showing up at the door from Amazon, so we haven't had to buy them in a while. My organizing tips. I don't have any. Oh, hey, look. I had a muffin for breakfast, so throw away your muffin wrappers. Oh, here's one, though. I got this off Amazon. Cool, right? Instead of being in the floor, because we got this when we got Moose, because he was like, oh, a trash can with food in it. Oh, my God. So we got this, and it does this. I don't know if you can see it, but they're like little command hooks. You just stick it back on there. Ha! It's the coolest thing I ever had. Yes, I'm excited about a trash can. Jesus. What do you need for your daughter? You could probably put it on like the side of a desk, or like on the side of a counter, or like it comes with this, so you can put it on the outside or the inside of a cabinet. So I just have it there so I don't lose it. Tell me you're an adult without telling me you're an adult. I have a trash can that doesn't hit the floor. What hospital do they receive care at? Vanderbilt Hospital. I will not take them anywhere but Vanderbilt, because the local one is ridiculous. They try to, they really just throw their hands up and they're like, ooh, your kids are too rare. We don't want to screw anything up. So we're just going to go ahead and call for an ambulance from Vanderbilt. So we just drive there anyway, instead of wasting time sitting at the hospital here. Sorry if this is insensitive, but is there 0 chance of them surviving after 10 years old? There's 0% chance of them surviving in general, but then again, we all have the same percentage of survival rate. I mean, if you think about it. But the life expectancy is about 8 to 12 years of age. Although I've seen a lot of kids with INAD pass at 5 and 6. And Harrison is 5 and he's about to be 6. Riley is 7. She'll be 8 in October. So I'm not really sure what to expect. My cousin had INAD, but she passed when she was 13. So it could go either way, really. Oh my God. Here's another organizational tip. Leave shit everywhere. It's just one of my tips. Just to keep your life together. Thank you. Hope you have a blessed day too. Tip, leave everything everywhere. Yeah, pretty much, because then, well, it's really my ADHD kind of like gets in the way. And so instead of picking something up, my mind remembers your hair tie is over there next to the bathroom rug. Instead of picking it up when I see it the first time and putting it away, my brain remembers, hey, that's where it was when I need it. So I'm like, oh well. Riley's is Halloween. Yeah, my cousin had INAD. So my father is one of 3 boys, and he's the youngest. His middle brother, oh God, stepped on a squeaker. Okay, his middle, you love my attitude, thank you. So my uncle had a daughter with INAD. She was actually one of the first ones to be diagnosed, because it was at first called Steidelberg disease. So Dr. Steidelberg was her doctor. So they changed it to infantile neuroaxonal dystrophy because of the neurons and the axons, and because the dystrophy is this part where they start to like have muscle spasms that cause them to do this. You see Riley has her arms like this. That's the dystrophy part. So she had INAD in the 80s. She died when I was like 4 or 5, I guess. So they didn't know that it was genetic, because she passed away in the 80s, and they didn't find out, like researchers didn't find out it was genetic until 2006. So for him to feel guilty about me having 2 with INAD is kind of ridiculous. Like, he shouldn't feel guilty for that, because if your kid passes away, who's going to keep up with that disease for 20 years, you know? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, but he feels bad about it. And I'm like, it's not your fault. But he is a pharmacist and a chiropractor, and my other uncle is a chiropractor or a pharmacist, and then my dad is an engineer. So they're all like really like super smart and like just a lot to live up to, you know? But anyway, he had a whole list of all of his research. It was before the internet, and it was, he would put on his lab coat, his chiropractor lab coat, pharmacy lab coat, and he would sneak into college hospitals and sneak into the hospital libraries and do research on her disease. So they only kicked him out like twice, but he's the reason I have all of these different supplements. Like, so we give them omega-3s. Now this one here is Barlean's. It has the highest DHA. Most of them are going to have like EPA, but the DHA is what is the most important. And then also CoQ10. Like, there's so many things that he told me to put them on, and I did, and I think that's the reason that they're doing so well compared to other children with INAD, because I had someone with prior experience in my corner. And then there's at OHSU, there's a doctor who is supposed to be the leading expert on INAD, and I called her up because they told me that Riley was anemic and wanted to put her on iron pills. And I was like, but she's got infantile neuroaxonal dystrophy, which is under the umbrella of NBIA, which is neurodegeneration with brain iron accumulation. I was like, so brain iron accumulation, why would I give her iron pills? They were like, it should be fine. And then like a few months later, they called me back and they were like, don't give her the iron pills. And I'm like, I didn't. So, yeah, leading expert my ass. No, none of my kids are adopted. A lot of the stuff on my wish list, I didn't put there. The nurses did. So a lot of it's going to be skincare stuff, because Riley has a lot of skincare issues. Hold on, let me do this. Here we go. Now I can. All right, bud. Here we go. Cover up your little toesies. So anyway, now I can give. Shit. Well, there we go. So I'm not really sure what we could use the most. Yeah, I don't know if Natalie is a carrier. She has made the decision that she wants to be tested, but it takes a while to get the ball rolling. We have to see a geneticist, which we haven't been able to get in yet. It takes a few months to see a specialist like that. So we have an appointment with a geneticist who is then going to ask insurance to pay for a genetic test, and then we have to provide the kids my paperwork and the kids' paperwork showing that there is the mutation on PLA2G6 gene. And then it'll take a few weeks for that to come back. So my oldest daughter is Natalie. She just turned 16. She does not have the same biological father, but he adopted her, so we all have the same last name, because her sperm donor is a piece of shit. But I mean, you know, that's not really a new story for most people, I guess. We do not qualify for Medicaid. Fun story. My husband makes almost $1,000 too much for us to qualify, but $1,000 a year is not going to cover insurance. So we had to get the kids on a waiver that comes with Medicaid. So Riley and Harrison have Medicaid. Then Natalie, Riley, my husband and I all have private insurance through my husband's work. Well, that's what I do the chat for, is answering questions. Oh yeah, I love that everybody answers questions in the chat. I love that my followers have been here this whole time and they know all the answers too. Like, that is the coolest thing to me, to like see these questions being answered, and you guys are all like correct. You're answering these questions correctly, and it's like you guys are part of the family. You know what my family is going through. You guys have been here long enough that you can answer these questions. I don't know why, but that's just so freaking cool to me. Genetics is very fascinating. The PTEN mutation, well, we've got 3 mutations. Well, not we. I've got 1 mutation. My husband has 2. And the kids both have the same 3 mutations on their PLA2G6 gene. The job that I'm looking for, okay. Yes, the kids are awake, but they were being catheterized, so that's why I didn't show them to you, but I covered them up, so. Riley's awake. Hi, Tudor Dudes. Hi, Pooter Dooders. Hi, Bunka Boys. And then Harrison over here, you know, being the morning person that he is, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Hi, little bears. Hi, Borderkins. Hi, Borderkins. Did you see that? You see how he didn't startle because he feels me? So I do this, and his nurse does this. And my husband kisses him on his face with his beard, so he knows who is who. And then with my sister, he just knows who she is by her voice, I think. Yeah, Riley was, so we actually got pregnant with Harrison on Riley's birthday. The only reason I know that is because Riley's first birthday, we were supposed to have a party, but my mother-in-law ended up in the hospital, so we traveled to North Carolina to see her in the hospital on Riley's birthday, well, birthday weekend. And where we were is halfway between where I live now and where my sister lives. And my sister was like, oh my God, you're only 4 hours away. I'll come get the kids. And my husband and I were in a hotel by ourselves, you know, whatever. So we know when Harrison was conceived, which is fun. So my sister, whenever she comes over, she looks at him and goes, I'm the reason you're here. So they are 20 months apart because of that. They take so long to get back. Yes. Genetic testing in general takes forever, but if you're only testing 1 gene, then yeah, Jesus Christ, Amber. Hughes Family Labradors. That's my best friend Amber. She she's the one that gave me Moose. Does my sister have the same wicked sense of humor? Yes. But she's more refined than I am. She's like really classy. She's not as harsh. She looks at my stuff and goes, Whitney, you need to delete that. Like, that's too mean. And I'm like, but it's funny. And she's like, oh, I don't disagree that it's funny, but you're being an asshole and it's not very classy. And I'm like, who the hell cares about that? Whatever. Does my sister have any kids? No, she does not. She is a nurse. She's a cardiac RN, and she is married to an engineer, and they travel a lot, and I don't think she really wants kids. So, has Moose today. Moose, where is he? He's probably outside. He likes to go outside while it's really, really wet. He's such a punk. When the kids got first diagnosed, did I think of moving to a country with free healthcare? No, actually, that never even crossed my mind because at the time, the kids had healthcare. And then when we got the diagnosis and it was terminal, insurance started giving us a lot of issues. My sister has been tested. She is not a carrier for this disease. So if she wanted to have children, she could. But she is just enjoying her life right now, which I'm super jealous of. Like, she went to Vietnam, she's going to Cancun and Barcelona and a bunch of other places. Like, she's at work right now though. Yeah, Riley did not get diagnosed when I was pregnant with Harrison. Riley was diagnosed, let's see, Harrison got here in July of 2015. So in April of 2016, about that is when we got the kids diagnosed, because Harrison wasn't even a year old yet when we got his diagnosis. And it was a few weeks after Riley's diagnosis. So within like a 3-week period, I knew that I was going to outlive 2 of my 3 kids. Does Gunner or Moose ever jump on the kids? No, actually, they don't. Where are those? Oh, Moose! He's asleep. Moose, Moose, come here. Pups, pups. Moose, come. Okay, I'm back. Holy crap. All right, watch this. Let's see if I can. Moose. Moose, come here. Good boy. Say hi. Good boy. Those are good pups. Okay, down. Good boy. Only with permission do they do that. What happened with my, what? My BJB. I don't know what that is. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Faye. Insurance is horrible, yeah. Am I going to have more kids? No. Thank you, Susie. No, I don't think we're going to have any more kids. If we do, it would be adoption, and we're thinking like special needs adoption. Thanks, Baxter. I really appreciate the presents. Did I train him? Did you train him? Take him to train. Okay, so the original intent of Moose was to be a blood oxygen detection dog, so that he could tell me when the kids' blood oxygen started to drop, or alert me when they started to choke. But he has an aptitude for PTSD and therapy dog, because he senses when I'm like freaking out, and he comes and he puts his body on mine, and he just, I don't know, for some reason we're just connected, I guess. So he is being trained as my PTSD dog, even though I don't really have PTSD, but there's really nothing else to call a therapy dog, I guess. Does one of the dogs like either of the kids more? Yes. Gunner is Riley's. Let's see if I can, I'll post some later, some videos. Riley and Gunner, so I was 36 weeks pregnant with Riley. When we got Gunner, he was 4 weeks old. His mom died, so I took him in. And I was just gonna get him to 12 weeks old, find a home for him. But when Riley was born, even though he's this crazy puppy, he was like all over her. Like, he was very gentle and he knew what he was doing. And so they became best friends. And then when she started crawling around, he would lay at the bottom of the stairs so that she could fall on him. When she was on the couch, he would lay at the bottom of the couch, so when she crawled off the couch, she would fall on him instead. I never really had to, he's bulletproof is what I call it. He would just lay there, and she would shove toys in his lips. She would just go, and he would just lay there, and he wouldn't spit any of the toys out until she crawled away to go get more stuff. And so he just, but he enjoyed it. It wasn't like he was forced to sit there and take it. He put himself in her way where she would have to crawl over him. So he really enjoyed it. And I can tell that they miss each other so much, because she's up here and he's down here. And so the dog beds, I think, would help get them together more anyway, because he really misses her, and you can tell that he misses her, because he says hi to her all the time. He'll come up here and he'll just sniff around, and I always tell him he can come up and say hi. And when she's in her wheelchair, he comes over and says hi, and he licks on her, but he's so gentle. Moose, however, is kind of like too excited, but he doesn't have that bond with her. He doesn't really have a bond with, we thought Moose would be Harrison's dog, but it turns out he's mine. But no, Gunner and Riley are definitely an item. he will put himself between anybody else that comes in the house and Riley. So even if they're a friend, he's like, back up, this is my girl, you better get away. So yeah, we take the dogs on family trips with us, we do. Unless it's like, when we went to New Jersey, we didn't take the dogs with us, but that was because we were driving for 17 hours. Really wasn't conducive to taking a dog. But yes, when we travel, we take Gunner with us. And we haven't traveled since we got Moose, but he'll be going with us too. I don't think Natalie will have kids that are carriers. I don't know if she's a carrier. So I'm only basing this on looks, really. But my sister and I people think we look alike, but I don't really think so. My brother and I look alike. So, my daughter looks just like my sister. And so I think she has a lot of the same genetics that my sister does. So I don't think that she's going to be a carrier just based on that. Maybe it's also like wishful thinking. Yeah, the dog beds are on Amazon. They're just expensive right now. So I'm like, Yorkies. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. So I always wanted dogs when I was younger, and my parents were only like letting me have cats. Now I got to have every other animal under the sun. Anything my dad caught in the trap for the trash can, I got to keep. Raccoons, rabbits, birds, everything, but not a dog. So as the years went on, my hole in my heart got bigger and bigger, and so now it can only be filled by huge dogs. And I joke about that to my parents, like, well, if you would have gotten me a dog when I was 10, I probably could have had a Yorkie or something, but no, I have to have a giant. I should become a motivational speaker. Okay, so that's funny because I would love to do that, but I would be an unmotivational speaker, because motivational speakers are like, be the driving force of your own destiny, like change your circumstances, like be happy with what's going on, whatever. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, like not everybody has circumstances that can be changed, or that could be turned into something positive, or that's going to turn out okay in the end, So I would be more like, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to celebrate what you have, kind of thing. So I would love to be a motivational speaker. I just don't know how to get started. I've got almost 1 million followers on Instagram, on TikTok, but I don't know. Have I thought about getting a third dog? Harrison's nurse has threatened me with bodily harm if I do. So I won't be getting a third dog for a while. Plus, I missed the opportunity. If you're going to get another dog, you should wait. You should get it within the first 6 months, or maybe the first 18 months, or after 2 years, or is it the first 6 months? Anyway, I missed the window, so I won't be able to get a dog for another 1.5 years if I were to get one, just because getting new dogs is like a science, trying to make sure that they like each other and that they get along with each other and stuff. Why do they have individual nurses? The first 6 months or after 2 years? That's what I thought. Yeah, okay. They have individual nurses because they are both considered total care. So they need help with every basic human need. And so now while I keep them alive on the weekends, they don't get the amount of care that they do when they have a one-on-one. Now when they go to like the hospital, they put them in ICU, because that way they have a one-on-one nurse, because of all of the stuff that they need to like take care of. So one person taking care of both kids for some reason isn't okay, but I can. So it's like, mom can totally take care of them and the kids can be miserable, but I don't think it makes any sense. But I'm glad that they have that policy though, because the kids definitely deserve to each have their own nurse. One person trying to take care of both of them, they would just be taken care of. They wouldn't be cherished. They wouldn't be happy. They wouldn't be like they wouldn't know them like they do. So that's, I'm okay with that policy because I really can't do it by myself, and I'm mom. I need my husband, or I need Natalie, at least someone here to at least, you know, run stuff around for me or grab something for me, because in a, thanks Baxter, holy crap, that's a lot of presents. In the middle of an emergency, like I'm holding Riley and I'm like, oh my God, I need somebody to hand me something like suction machine or one of these things for her to throw up on so that I don't have to look at, okay, so this table here is made out of slits, right? So these come out and these also come off. So they are waterproof underneath. But if she were to throw up on this right here, I would have to take these off, and I would also have to take this whole thing off and clean off the table, which would suck. And you know how I know it would suck? Because Harrison peed through it once. And since that's our first one that we ever made, that is our dining room table. It's a drop leaf table. And that means it's got, let's go to the table. That means it's got all of this stuff. So we had to take everything apart to clean it. It was horrifying. And it was the week that his nurse, it was the week that his nurse was on vacation, actually. So so he was, I messaged her and I'm like, you're never allowed to go anywhere again, because he was pissed that you're gone, and he pissed everywhere. No, it was not fun to clean, but I took pictures of it. What kind of diapers do they use? They use these ones. They're size 7, but I don't know what brand they are. They're called Mama Bear, but I don't know what brand they are. The nurses found it on Amazon and started putting it on the wish list, and these are better than the ones at Sam's because they're bigger. Oh, thank you. I think my kids are lucky to have me, but just because, you know, this was asked, but what happened to your children? They were born normal. People don't like that word, but it's, if you're not in the special needs world, the word normal doesn't have the same connotations. So they were born neurotypical, which means they were born like regular kids. And for the first year, they reached all of their milestones: walking, talking, crawling, feeding themselves, everything like that. And then at between a year and 15 months, they started to regress, which means they started to get worse. So Harrison, we knew that he had INAD before he was showing symptoms, but only because we got Riley's diagnosis before Harrison turned 1. So Harrison was doing just fine when we got his diagnosis. But the first thing that happened is, so you walk like this on your feet, right? Well, the kids started to do this and try to walk on the outside of their feet. It looked painful. It looked horrific. I mean, it was like, don't stand up. Oh my God, you're going to break your legs. Then they started falling over a lot, and then they stopped talking, and then they stopped being able to stand up, and then they lost trunk muscles, which is like, you can't really sit up, you're just kind of like flopping around. Then they lost dexterity, where they lost control of like their body, where they couldn't grab things or move their arms where they wanted them to go. And then they lost their head control, which basically puts them where they are now. Then they stopped being able to swallow. Then they stopped being able to pee on their own. So that's where they got to they are now. Is basically 50-pound newborns, where they've got floppy heads, floppy bodies. You have to be really gentle with them. Watching that must have been traumatic. Warning for gore in live. There's no gore in here. All right. It was traumatic, The first 2 years were really hard. I was pregnant with Harrison when Riley started to decline, and I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what. And so I went to all kinds of testing with her. We tried all kinds of tests. They thought she had Rett syndrome, but she didn't wring her hands like Rett syndrome is only girls. So they tried Rett syndrome, they tried congenital disorders of glycosylation because she has the little fat at the end of her fingers, and an inverted nipple. She didn't have that, obviously. They thought it could be celiac disease, a B12 deficiency, like so many things. And then they were like, well, we're gonna do genetic testing, and if this comes back with nothing, you're gonna have to go to the Undiagnosed Diseases Network and see if they have anything for you, because we have nothing to offer you. So watching it happen was painful with Harrison, because I knew what he had and I knew what was coming. But with Riley, it was even more scary because I didn't know what was happening and I didn't know what was going to happen next. Natalie's still sleeping. Are the kids able to get the COVID shot? We have been advised to not vaccinate them anymore, just because their immune systems probably can't handle it, and any of the smaller side effects, like, you know, fever, anything like that could trigger something even worse in them. So we are not going to vaccinate them anymore, but they are fully vaccinated up until this point. Unfortunately, they wouldn't be able to get vaccinated, so they're immunocompromised, so it would hurt them more than it would help them. So no, we're not going to get that. My husband and I are going to get the shot, though. We almost got the Johnson & Johnson one, but the kids needed to go somewhere. And so my husband and I ended up not going. And then the next day, they were recalled, so I thought that was pretty great. The syndrome, after I said Rett syndrome, congenital disorders of glycosylation. It's a lysosomal issue. When they stopped eating on their own, Harrison, let's see, he is 5 now, so 3-ish, 2 or 3-ish. Don't plan anything for the day after your second shot. You had a fever and some nausea. What are the car seat situations? They don't have car seats anymore. We put them in their wheelchairs and we load them into the van and we strap their wheelchairs down. So that's how they get around now. I'm very clever. Thank you. Oh, buddy got the hiccups. What you doing, buddy? He's all right. See, he's right here. I'm giving him his drugs. But I'm on my iPad instead of my phone. So do I look blurry to you guys, or can you guys see me okay? Yeah, so they do seem stable. No changes lately except for Harrison. Before he went to the hospital this last time, it was really bad. We thought we were losing him because his oxygen levels dropped into the 50s, and anything below 80 is very concerning. He swelled up like a balloon, like Veruca, not Veruca, who's the blueberry chick on Willy Wonka? He looked like that. I mean, he just swelled up, minus the blue part. And they couldn't find out what was wrong with him. They even did a lumbar puncture because they thought he had meningitis. So it was a very scary time. So before he went to the hospital for that, he was like really happy and very communicative, and he would react to stuff. When he got back from the hospital, though, he hasn't been the same. He's having like Alzheimer's type symptoms where, here, look, because I'm talking to him and he can't really, he's got Alzheimer's like symptoms where he doesn't really know what's going on around him, and he can't see anymore. So if I touch him without, so I think he can hear me, but if I touch him, he's like, holy shit, who's that? Even though I'm talking, and I think he knows someone's here, but then I touch him on his eyebrow and he knows, okay, that's my mom. So that's why I'm okay talking around him about this stuff, because I don't think that he really knows what I'm saying. Possibly can't even hear me. So there's that. Riley, I'm pretty sure can understand what I say, but she's passed out right now. She's not a morning person, so she's over here just... She's over here just passed out. And I don't think Harrison can understand or hear what I say. Normally, I don't answer questions in front of them. But lately, it's been okay because Harrison doesn't even realize I'm here. How did I figure out the vision's going away? Because he started freaking out when he got touched. Like, what the hell is that? Like, he didn't see us coming, so we had to start saying, hey, I'm coming to touch you. I'm gonna touch you. It's gonna be okay. So I kind of figured that he doesn't have very good vision. But we never had, like, a test done because his optical nerve is what's damaged. So he could do, like, the whole glasses thing, but it wouldn't do any good because we don't know what is being transmitted from his eyeballs to his brain. We don't know what kind of picture he's getting. So there's really no test to see what or how he can see, unfortunately. A younger cousin with Rett syndrome. This is very similar to Rett syndrome. Minus, they don't wring their hands though, but it is very similar as far as the dystrophy and the regression and stuff. It's actually really similar to Sanfilippo syndrome. It's just a faster version of that. Where kids with Sanfilippo syndrome get diagnosed maybe 4 or 5 years old, and they can live to be about 20. Kids with INAD are, they start to regress about a year old, and they don't live past 12 or 13. So, do I recommend pre-pregnancy testing? So, actually, my husband and I, we didn't get that. We were like, we're gonna love our kid no matter what. Like, we're not gonna abort, we're not gonna... But that was also a very naive way of looking at things. Not that I wouldn't... I honestly don't know if I would have aborted. Because they had, like, the first few years were really great. And they just now recently got to this point, like in the last year, where they're just completely unable to do anything. And if he was verbal, yeah, he could do a vision test. How does Riley know Harrison's there? I don't know. But I don't know if you can tell. All right, here. So look, she's looking off to the right, sort of. That's how she breathes. Hold on, let me fix her. There you go, Pumpkin. So she looks to the right, and Harrison has to look to his left. That's just the best way for them to breathe. So when we put them together, they face each other, and they immediately fall asleep. I think they can feel each other. I think they can feel each other's presence, and they get comfort in that presence because we put them next to each other, and they just kind of like, they're touching a little bit, and they just start falling asleep. Like, they're just completely comfortable. So, I didn't get a science degree. I sound like I have a science degree, but I actually have a business degree. I have a Bachelor of Science in Human Resource Management, and I've got a Master's in Business Administration. I just read science books. My best friend, though, is a doctorate. She's a doctor of molecular biology, so she helps me understand some of the stuff that I don't know. What job I'm looking for? Oh, right. So there's this one job that I really want with a company called Polygon, and it's a startup company, and they help people with learning differences, and they're looking for an operations manager, which I could totally do. But people can look at my name and see that I've got 2 terminally ill children and go, she's not the one for us. But I'm hoping this one would be different because they already know about special needs. So I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, I could totally do this job. But I'm looking for like data analysis, project manager, operations manager kind of thing. Those types of jobs where I consult and tell people how to run their business or how to start up a business kind of thing. So that's the kind of stuff that I do. I do give them full spectrum light. They go outside quite often, but as you guys saw from my video, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a video where I did a time lapse of how we got the kids outside. That was because my sister was here and my husband was here. So in order to get them outside, it takes an act of Congress to get them outside. So we open the windows and we let the light come in that way. But we do try to take them outside a lot. They don't go to school, no. But we do take them outside. I just can't video it because my hands are full, if that makes sense. Alexa, in 1 hour, remind me to check residual.
Okay, I'll remind you.
Sorry if I said anybody's off. I did not mean to do that. So we do have stuff on the ceiling for the kids to look at in their bedroom. We have projectors and stuff. Riley loves it. Curious, no judgment. If you get a job, will you leave the kids with the nurses all day? So the jobs I'm looking for are remote. So I would still be in my office. I would still be here, but I have the option to leave. The nurses would take care of the kids the way that they do now, even if I'm gone. Like, I do leave sometimes. I'll go have lunch with my mom or something. Go to doctor's appointments and stuff. I don't know what I would do without them. They are the most amazing women I've ever met. So, do I use a lot? Yes, I do. Like, all the time. All the time. I even set her up in the morning to tell me in this many hours to do drugs. In this many hours, remember, you have to start cathing the kids. Like, I use her a lot. But anyway, so no, I'm looking for a remote job that I could do from home. So that way my husband can stop working, come home. That's my biggest one, is because I want my husband to stop being so stressed. My husband can come home, start his own business, and then that way he could be gone, because if I work from home, then he can, have the option to not be here. But if I work somewhere else, then my husband's going to have to be home, and he won't be able to do a startup business that he wants to do. So it makes sense for everybody, because I don't want to leave the kids, and neither does my husband. So, that's basically it. How many hours of nursing do I have? So I've got nursing for 50 hours during the week right now that's being filled, but I have 112 hours a week that I could fill. So I'm going to have nurses for 5 days a week from 7 to 5, which is a 10-hour shift. And then I would have nurses, a nurse, 10 hours at night. So I'm thinking like 9 to 7, 6 nights a week. Right now we only found one for 4 to 5 nights a week. So that'll be interesting, I guess, to see how that pans out. We're going to probably get another nurse that just does like 2 nights a week or something. Hold on 1 second, guys. Here we go. If you were the mother of the babies, you would just want to curl up with them 24/7. I do. While I'm carrying them around, I just kiss them and hold them, and Harrison's floppy. You would think he would be the easier of the two to like cuddle with, but Riley being a little bit rigid in her back actually makes her easier to cuddle with. How is my husband? He is not doing well. He is not doing well at all. He's at work right now, again, and which is fine. I mean, I'm okay when he's not here. I'm okay with it, but he's working his ass off, and he's so tired because he's working from like 5 in the morning until like 6 or 7 at night. And he comes home and goes right to bed because he's got to wake up so early. So he's not really seeing me. He's not seeing his kids. And he's starting to lose it a little bit. So there's that. Hold on. I saw something I wanted to answer. Oh, what kind of medicine do I like? CBD oil. This one is 2,000 milligrams per 59 milliliters, which is 2 ounces. So it's like, I think 2 milligrams per drop or something like that it comes out to. And that's what I use. And I am pretty sure that that is the reason my children do not get seizures, because most children with INED have seizures. And my kids, luckily, do not. So are they in pain? No, they're not. No, they have not always been this way. They used to talk and play. Yes. Do I trust the nurses with the kids alone? Absolutely. And like so I've come home and I found that one of the nurses and one of the kids was gone from the living room. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? Well, they were in my bedroom, but they had Riley on the bed because we only had one hairdryer at the time. So she had taken Riley into my room, laid her on the bed, and was blow drying her hair. So, and nothing else was disturbed. Like, it's just a feeling that you get. But Harrison's nurse has been here for 2 years in August, and Riley's nurse, her 1-year anniversary is May 11th. So, we've had a lot of time to build a relationship and build that trust. And since there's 2 of them, they kind of like keep each other. I mean, not that I don't think that I would trust one or the other, like by themselves. Like, it doesn't have to be both of them. But I think having 2 of them also helps, because once you trust one, then when you bring another nurse in, then you also have this nurse that you trust to help vet the other nurse. You know what I mean? How do I know if they do or don't like something? I ask them. Well, not Harrison anymore, but I can tell by his facial expressions. Like, he'll do this. Like, just, he'll furrow his brow. And the only reason I know this is because they look just like, would I recommend CBD oil for someone with chronic pain but still has to function during the day? No, I would recommend hemp oil. They are different. Hemp oil is more anti-inflammatory, whereas CBD oil is more of the cannabinoid section, so it more broad spectrum. But hemp oil would be perfect. And just buy little veggie caps and just put oil in there, and then that way you can take it. You don't have to taste it because it tastes like dirt. But that's what I would do. But anyway, when the kids do or don't like something, the reason I know is because my husband was in a coma. And he was on a ventilator for several weeks. Yes, my nails are color straight. Aren't they cute? And while he was in a coma, I could tell when he was in pain and when he needed more medication, because he would do this look on his face, and the kids have the same look on their face when they're in pain. So yeah, Riley loves Dum Dums for sure. Yeah, they're about 20 months apart. they can have a lollipop or cheesecake or, you know, thickened water or Kool-Aid or something on good days. But when they're having a bad day, they definitely don't get anything in their mouth because it'll just make it worse. Can you say, no, I don't think I can. I'm obsessed with coloristry too. Riley is not a Libra, she's a Scorpio. She's born on Halloween. Do they cry sometimes? No. But if they are in pain, they make the most gut-wrenching sound I've ever heard in my life. When we had Harrison in the hospital, he made the most pathetic moaning sound, and I was like, I never want to hear that again. I'm like, give him Dilaudid, please. Hold on, I'm gonna... There you go. How about that? You do it, okay? Australia. Female Scorpio, baby. I'm a Leo, so I can handle it. I do not do her nails. Her nurse does, but take a look at these. The nails that she's got right now are just insane. Alright, doodles. Oh, pumpkin doodles. Hold on, let me grab a little stand here because I have to reposition her. Do you see how she's like got her face straight up? That's not good. She can't breathe that way. So we're gonna, I mean, I see her chest rising and falling, so I know that it's not like an emergency situation, but I do have to like turn her head a little bit. And a lot of people wonder about the blankets that we use. Let me see if I can show you guys. Actually, here we go. Like this. There. Okay, so I don't use pillows, I use blankets for this reason. I can pull it up and then do this. So I can reposition their heads and their necks so quickly. I can't do that with a pillow because a pillow, they can only be in one position. Now I'm just making sure that she doesn't have any baby hairs underneath her head that are going to be pulling. And so then I'll reposition her. There you go, pumpkins. Anyway, all right, so her nails. I know, hold on, let me see your nails. Oh, they're so reported. Here, let's look at this one instead then, okay? Look at these nails. And they're 3D, like, this one's got jewels on it, and then this one has flowers with little beads. I don't know if you can see it really well. I'll post a video of them later because they're so cute. So no, I don't do her nails, her nurse does. I'm not that good, and I don't have that much time either. She is adorable. She's adorable. No, they were not born this way. Take care of your paralyzed mother. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. That's got to be rough. Because look, it's different. It's a different dynamic. Because these are my kids, you know? So obviously as a mother, you are going to have this instinct to take care of your children. But when you're taking care of your parents, it's different because there's a little bit of resentment. There's like, I had a life and now I don't. So I know that being a caregiver to a parent is probably worse than being a caregiver to your own child because the dynamic is so different. But losing a parent is probably easier than losing a child because losing a parent is what you're supposed to, that's like the way of life, you know? Your parents pass and you go on and then you have children and then you pass and your children are still there, but losing a kid is like not the natural order of things. Oh, I'm glad that you smile when you see how loved my kids are. That's really great. Did I notice something was wrong? Oh yeah, I noticed something was wrong because Riley started trying to walk on the outside of her feet. Hello, Ireland. How do I do it without breaking down every day? I'll be completely honest with you. I break down a lot, but I hide it from the kids and I'm medicated. I have Valium and I'm on 3 antidepressants. So it's okay to see somebody. I'm also seeing a therapist, and it's been very helpful. So I would suggest seeking help, because being on antidepressants, being on anti-anxiety medications, there's nothing shameful about that, because otherwise, without it, I would not be able to function. I mean, I know for a fact, because I was unable to function. Yes, I still think Harrison is blind. How do I know Riley likes horror? Okay, yesterday, I was talking, not yesterday, Friday. Sorry, I think today's Saturday. So Friday, I was talking to the nurses. Hold on, Riley's moving. All right, so Friday, I was talking to the nurses, and Riley's nurse was like, you know, I was 26 before I realized that artichokes weren't an animal. And I said, why? Because people are eating their hearts? And Riley goes, bah! So then we continue talking about it. And when we mention murder, or we mention decapitation, or we mention dismemberment, or anything like that, Riley gets really excited about it. Now, it is only, almost 10 in the morning, so she's passed out right now. So, usually later on in the afternoon, she'll start to be interested in gore. Riley is a Scorpio. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if they like certain scents. Yes, both parents have to be carriers in order for them to have this. Your sister, actually the opposite. I offered to be a surrogate for my sister because she works out and she's got this like rockin' body, and mine is already just like a deflated balloon. So I was like, look, if you ever want to have kids but you don't want to ruin your body, I will be your surrogate for you. Like, if she provides the egg and stuff, because obviously my eggs are kind of broken, but that's just because I'm older than her. How often do you look at things and are like, oh my God, I could repurpose this for my kids? All the time. All the time. I'm like, oh my God, that would be cool. We could use this for this. Are they usually sedated? No. Harrison is going to be sedated for a little while just because he started a new medication. He's on tizanidine now, which is a muscle relaxer. But it helps with his muscle spasms. Actually, this is bothering me. Hold on, buddy. Let me fix that. So he'll be probably sedated for another couple of weeks while he gets used to that. How does Riley know about these topics? Okay, so we went on vacation to Louisville right when Riley got diagnosed. I think we had Harrison diagnosed as well. And we got into a hotel room and we set the kids down in front of the TV so that we could unpack everything, because traveling with these kids is a freaking nightmare. We put her in front of the TV and she started laughing and we were like, what is she watching? And it turns out it was Jerry Springer. So because she loves the chaos, we started trying other shows. So we tried Hell's Kitchen. She loved that. Then we tried cop shows like Live PD, and she was so excited about when they'd yell, police with the K9, you're gonna get bitch. She was like all over that. And so then we started watching other stuff like Criminal Minds. She really likes that kind of stuff. And so as she has progressed, she has still shown her appreciation for these shows. But when she was still able to react to stuff was when we found out. So that's how I know that she's not scared of stuff. Hi, Critter93. Hello. I hope your eggs don't scramble before you have one. That's funny. No, I don't think Harrison can see, yeah, I think he can see shapes in light, because when I turn the light on in the bedroom, he kind of does this, like he's looking into the sun. So I do think he has some light sensitivity. She doesn't really like How to Get Away with Murder, but she does like the San Clarita Diet, which is what we're watching right now, and she loves Criminal Minds. She's not really, she does kind of like Dexter, but she really likes cop shows, so I'm letting her watch Reno 911, and she thinks that's fantastic. I wish you were closer to help care for my babies, too. Did they ever get bed sores? No, they don't. They have been bedbound for, I don't know, a couple years now, and they've never had a pressure injury or a bed sore, but that's because I'm obsessed with positioning, so I always move them. I'm always moving them around, making sure that they're comfortable, moving their heads, moving their bodies. So no, they don't. I have taken them to the zoo. Riley dug it, but Harrison was like, this is awful. As an EMT, you make my heart happy. Oh, thank you so much. Mad respect. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. How do they shower? I'll show you. You guys want to see the bathroom and the whole setup? Oh my God, I stepped on a dog toy. That really hurt. All right, so this is the bathroom. Right here. So this is how they shower. This is a shower. So they can recline. So they're like hammocks. And then we use this instead of that. And this is magnetic, so we can stick it anywhere. So when the nurses are giving baths, we can just stick it wherever they need it, wherever it's closest. So that way it makes it easier on them. So that's how that works. So that's the shower situation. So we just lay them in there and we take off our socks, roll up our pants, just in case we get splash, you know. But other than that, it's pretty easy. My future plans with my degree is to find a work from home job. It makes me sad sometimes talking about the kids, but I really am just trying to share it with others. I want that for my shower too. What made me want to get my MBA? Nothing. I did not want to get my MBA, but I was forced to. In order for us to maintain Medicaid for the kids, I had to be, both my husband and I had to be full-time employees or full-time school, and I couldn't leave because the nurses can't drive the kids. So I went ahead and got my master's so that I could be a full-time student so that the kids could keep their nurses. And now they have a waiver, so we don't have those same restrictions. So thank God, because I could just go back and get a double master's, but I really don't want to. So I had to get my MBA. I could be an adjunct professor. That sounds like fun. I do have a master's. I could do that. But what would I teach? Like, I would love to be a medical liaison. Now, I am looking at jobs at Vanderbilt, but I don't think they'd be work from home. They have Medicaid as their insurance, so they don't have like private expensive or anything like that. It's, yeah, all my school is online. Western Governors University is where I got mine. So that's the best one. If you guys want to go to school online, but you don't like the whole, you have to check in on the board on Thursdays, or you have to have weekly assignments due by Friday at midnight, go to Western Governors University, because it's still regionally accredited. It's in Utah, and it's self-paced. So you have 6 months to get as many classes done as you want, and you don't have to check in. You don't have to like do anything. So I got my classes done in the last 3 weeks of my last term. I did classes. I did my last 3 classes in the last few weeks of that 6 months because I just fucked around. Harrison does not like his shower, but Riley does. The kind of mattresses they're on are called Drema mattresses, D-R-E-M-A. And yes, they are very comfortable, and they're for pressure sores. Best Mom award goes to me. Thank you. Love to have a class with me. Well, I probably would curse. I know that if I were a teacher of small children, I'd go to jail. Just because I'd like say something or just, you know, smack somebody. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't really smack anybody. But like I could not deal with like little kids. Like I really like my children, but I don't really like anybody else's kids, especially when they don't listen. So I'm your favorite, funniest mom on the app. You guys are just really like, my ego is going to get so big I won't be able to fit through my door anymore. I'm really glad you caught me too. Oh yes, I would smack a parent. I have met some parents that I'm just like, are you serious right now? Oh, parents piss me off. My biggest pet peeve is irresponsible parenting. Like I can't even watch shows where the parents are irresponsible. You know what? I could make a class where I teach other parents how to care for kids like mine. I could do an outline for that. Let's see. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Where's my notebook at? I gotta find it. I have to keep everything in my notebook because otherwise I would forget everything. Okay, so that's a really great idea. Gonna put that down. Outline for special needs class for other parents. I love that. Like my notebook. It's really weird. I don't like this, but I was able to take, so this is what's supposed to be in there, and then this stuff is from other notebooks, and I was able to do a hole punch and like put these in here too. So I've actually got notes from all of my notebooks all the way back to 2015 when we still didn't have a diagnosis for Riley. So do the kids interact at all? Yes, they do. It's easier to transfer Riley. She's a little bit rigid, so she doesn't flop around as much. So she kind of like lends support, so it's not just complete dead weight. Whereas Harrison, it's just like, oh my God, he's so fragile. A seminar or something on anticipation grief. That would be a good idea, but the seminar would be this. Hey, so sometimes life sucks and it's okay to go to therapy and get medication. Because I really don't know how I'm dealing with it. I'm not really like, I guess it's more like a denial, but maybe not denial, but like I don't think about it. Like I'm looking at it from the outside, so I can talk about it to other people, but I can't talk about it to myself, if that makes sense. Crazy question. What would you do if there was a curative option for them for a clinical trial? There was one. We did the clinical trial. It turns out it didn't work, and we wasted all our life savings on it. So I probably wouldn't do it now. If there was another clinical trial, I don't think I would put my kids through that because there was lots and lots of testing, and we had to limit their diet. It was really hard. So yeah, that's it. I'm just enjoying the time I have with them now and not thinking about it after. Amphi 23. What did she say? Or he? I don't see it. I'll go back through. Compartmentalizing, I think, is probably part of it. Yeah, going to therapy and taking meds does not mean you failed. It just means that you know your body and you're taking care of it. So I get a lot of puberty questions. If Riley were to get her period, it wouldn't change anything. We would just let her bleed into her diaper. If she started to get discomfort from period cramps, we would put her on birth control that would stop her period. But I'm not going to do any more chemicals in her body until it's absolutely necessary, just because I don't really want since they're not moving, the chance for blood clots is higher when you're on birth control, and because she is immobile, her chances for blood clots are higher. So I really wouldn't want to compound that chance. Clinical trials do cost money when they are small. So there's like about less than 150 cases in the whole world, and the clinical trial was only 16 families, and it was done by a small company. So we had to raise money, and we had to use our own money for traveling, for staying somewhere for a week, because they had a week full of testing. So yeah, it was expensive because they didn't pay for all that. If it was like for a less rare disease, yes, you're right. Clinical trials are usually covered. Maybe ibuprofen for cramps. Okay, so Riley can't have ibuprofen because she had a GI bleed in the past, and that will make it worse. So she can't have ibuprofen, but she can have Tylenol. We could probably get something like morphine, which I think is a bit extreme, but I don't know. I'll just give my kids morphine. Like, wow, I can't believe I said that out loud. That's just something I would think about, I guess. What does my husband do for work? He is the manager of an auto parts store. I'm doing okay this morning. So INAD, for those of you that don't know, it's called Infantile Neuroaxonal Dystrophy. Your nerves are made up of two parts, the neurons and the axons, and they talk to each other. And so whenever you send messages to your brain or from your brain, it goes through the neurons and the axons. So if you want to move your body, your brain sends signals through your body to move them. Well, INAD allows membranes to form over the axons, so it blocks the signals. So it's more like, instead of them talking to each other, they've got like all this gunk between them, so they can't talk to them anymore. So you kind of lose the ability to move your body, and then you eventually start getting Alzheimer's and, well, the INAD part, the nerve part doesn't cause the Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. It's actually the other parts of the nerve and the other parts of the genetic makeup, but they start to have Alzheimer's and Parkinson's symptoms, so they don't really know that they can't move anymore. So it's kind of like a little bit of mercy in a really horrible situation. Instead of them being stuck in a body and being completely aware of everything that's happening, they aren't really aware of what's happening. So thank God for that. That would definitely help your cramps. Oh, thank you guys. No, we didn't know there was the chance, because we didn't know that there was anything wrong until Riley was 13 months and I was already pregnant with Harrison. And then we didn't know what they had until Harrison was almost a year old. So my youngest was almost a year before we found out what was going on. Why are their arms always up? That's what the dystrophy part is. The infantile neuroaxonal dystrophy. So the dystrophy is when you're like, have you seen kids in wheelchairs and they're kind of stuck like this and it looks very stiff and rigid? That's dystrophy. That's when you have a lot of muscle spasms and it causes your body to kind of retract a little bit. So that's what's happening to their arms. They have also, Riley can't straighten her legs out all the way because she's also had some in her legs. So her legs, instead of being like this, they're kind of like this all the time. She can't straighten them out. So that's just the dystrophy part of their disease. Is there any sense of comfort knowing that they're on this journey together? No. Yes, Harrison's brain is deteriorating. And how's he doing now? We don't know. We haven't done a follow-up MRI. We're going to do one on Riley. She sees the neurologist in like a month or two, and so we will know soon what her brain looks like as well. But Harrison's brain is shrinking, and that is causing him to not know what's going on, which is fine because I don't want him to know what's going on. So when we got the diagnosis, yes, we were able to meet other families that had the same disease, or the same kids with the same disease. I am friends with several of the other mothers, and some of the mothers have lost their children during the time of our friendship. A lot of them were really young. A lot of them were like 5 and 6. One of them was 7. A friend of mine in Denmark lost his son when he was 11. No. He was 8 or 9. And what sucks is they grieve, yes, but there's also a sense of relief because now your kid isn't suffering anymore, and now your life is yours again. And they've all been they felt really guilty about feeling that relief. And so I know that I will feel that too. And that just thinking about it, just even saying it out loud makes me feel like a shitty parent, because what parent would be relieved to lose their kid, you know? But then when I think about, so I've got these friendships with these other parents, and knowing what they're going through, because I'm going through it, it does make sense. But I don't know. I'm not really sure. That really does. It's like a dagger to the heart, really. Because you're like, oh my God, I'm a piece of shit. I can't believe that I think this way. But when you're so sleep deprived and you can't function, I mean, it is really hard. How many kids currently have INAD? Less than 150 in the whole world. There are about 16 to 20 families in the United States. And some of them have more than one kid like I do. Some of them are twins. Some of them, they had children that passed away before a diagnosis, so they have other children, and then they got a diagnosis. So some of them had multiple children. But just like me, they didn't know. It would leave an emptiness, I'm sure. No one would understand the statement unless they're going through it. I agree. So people with INAD have not surpassed the age, but people with ANAD have. And the A stands for atypical instead of the I, which is for infantile. So they would have atypical neuroaxonal dystrophy, which means they have a later onset. Later onset means they get it later on in life. So they would have an onset of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old instead of 15 months old, which is what the infantile is. So if they have a later onset, then their regression is going to stretch out, and they are going to surpass the 12-year mark, but that's a different type of infantile neuroaxonal dystrophy. Well, it's a type of neuroaxonal dystrophy. So yeah, they can surpass it, but not with infantile. Thank you guys. I really appreciate all your support. I hope they know that they're loved. How's Natalie's relationship with her siblings? It's really good. She's still their sister. I made sure that she has not been their caregiver. Now, she does care for them sometimes. Like if I need to take a shower or something and Jason's not here, or if I need to poop or something, I mean, obviously I'm gonna be like, okay, Natalie, I need you to like watch them for a second, but I never let her watch them while I leave the house. I never make her do anything for them, like catheterize them, or sometimes I do ask her to drug one of them while I drug the other one, but that's just pushing meds through a G-tube. So she's still able to have the sister bond with them instead of the caregiver bond, and that's very important to me because I don't want her to feel like she missed out when they pass. I don't want her to feel like she should have been their sister, you know? Do the children grow normally? They do grow, and they get taller, they gain weight, but they are at the very bottom percentile. Harrison, because he's so skinny for a while, he was failure to thrive just because he wasn't gaining enough weight to stay on the chart. But he was thriving, he was fine, he was just very small. But now he's like 41 inches long and Riley's 45 inches long, and they're both about 50 pounds. Harrison's like 2 pounds lighter than Riley is. I need a podcast you could listen for hours. A podcast. Okay. Let me write that down in my little notebook here. Podcast. How do I even get a podcast started? I wonder how much that costs to start a podcast. Because I could talk for hours, you know? Obviously, I don't know how long I've been on this live. I think I've been on here for like maybe an hour, maybe 2. I'm not really sure. Do I ever feel guilty about going out without them? Yes. Yes, I do. Sometimes I'll meet my friends for like a margarita or something, but I feel really bad about it, so I don't stay out very long. I don't like going shopping without them because I used to take them. It's free. What podcast? Like what's the website? Hi, Bianca. I love you, girl. Cleaning rooms in your house, just listening. I agree. Podcast. Spotify. Okay. Spotify, and it's free because I have a really cool microphone. So I'm all set. I just don't know what I'm doing. But I do, yeah, I need margaritas. Like $6 a what? I saw something. $6 a month. Can you even make money from a podcast though? Like, would you make money? I mean, I wouldn't need to make money from it. I just like talking, as you can tell. I'm a very smooth talker, very easy to listen to. Well, thank you. Aren't you a smooth talker yourself? YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, but I don't really use it because it's hard to make videos. Like, it's hard to make longer videos. A podcast would be great because then I could just talk, like, after the kids have gone to sleep. You get ads and sponsors. You know what? I kind of know how that works. I've been sponsored by a few people already. Moonglow sponsored me. FabFitFun sponsored me for a box once. And then obviously I'm sponsored by Bang. I don't know how much longer that's going to last though. I haven't been doing Bang commercials. Shit. I need to do a Bang commercial today. Anybody got any ideas for a Bang commercial? I have no creativity anymore. Like, seriously. I could have a microphone hooked while I walk around, for sure. And I could just, like, talk. I was not advised to have any more children because of INAD. 1 out of 4 children would have INAD. Like, because there's... So the way that having kids works is everybody has 2 strands of DNA, okay? And so mom has 2 and dad has 2. And when you have a kid, you either get, like... They each get a strand from mom or dad. But it could be a combination of any of the 2 strands. So if they get 2 bad copies, Jason and I both have a bad copy, that makes us a carrier. So if they both get the bad copy, then they have INAD. But if they get a bad copy and a good copy, then they're just a carrier like Jason and I. So 1 in 4 chance of them having INAD. But I had preeclampsia with Riley, and it was really bad. and I started to have it with Harrison. So they induced a week early with Harrison. They induced a week early with Riley as well. But with Riley, it was really bad. So I've been told that I shouldn't have any more kids because preeclampsia could kill both of us. So I don't think I would have any more biological children. What does a doctor appointment look like for the kids? It looks like we're moving. It looks like we are like leaving for a whole week. Is what it looks like. Oh my gosh. I could podcast with my sister. You are right. Oh my God. That would be funny as hell. I love her. And I love her voice too. She's got a good one. They weigh about 50 pounds. Yeah, Riley and Harrison have a 1 in 4 chance, but with Natalie, she wasn't going to get INAD because her dad, I don't think, is a carrier, her sperm donor. Okay. But Natalie's going to get tested to see if she is a carrier so that she knows if she should or shouldn't have testing done before she has children. Would I ever consider nursing in the future? I get this a lot. No. No, I would not. I can handle my children and their bodily fluids. I cannot handle anybody else's. Mucus, blood, urine, feces, no thank you. I even gag when I'm watching TV and someone's doing something like medical doesn't bother me, like if they're doing like a C-section or something, but if somebody breaks their leg, if you see it break, I can't do that. If someone's like throwing up or something, I start like heaving, like dry heaving, like it's really gross. My husband laughs at me because when we're watching stuff and gross stuff happens, I'm like, I just don't think that I would be a good nurse. I really don't, because I'm also very to the point. I would just be like, the fuck are you doing here then? If you have something wrong with your lungs and you're still smoking, like why do you even come in if you're not going to listen to what we say? You know what I mean? Have you guys ever seen My 600 Pound Life? Dr. Now, how he's like, you're fat. That's why you're, whatever. I would be that. And I don't think that that would go over well. So, no, I probably wouldn't be a nurse. Oh, I'm glad that you are learning from me. That's great. Will I feel a loss of identity when they pass? Absolutely, because right now, that's my identity. Do the nurses ever take the kids out or go with you? Yes, we took them to the Cheesecake Factory a few weeks ago, and on Wednesday or Thursday of this upcoming week, they have an appointment with pulmonologists, so that's at 3. So we are going to take the kids to maybe the mall or try the Cheesecake Factory again and actually like leave early enough that we can go. So yeah, we are definitely going to take the kids on an outing. We don't just go to the doctor. We try and get them out. Like, if we're going to go out, might as well go out now or, go out at the same time. So, yeah, we don't want to pack up all of their shit just for a doctor's appointment. We're like, well, if we're out of the house already and we have everything we need, might as well do an outing. And if the weather's nice, we might even do it, like, outside. Maybe, like, take them to a park or something. If I have buildup of anxiety, rub ice on your forearms. That actually does not help. I've tried all of the home remedies that they say, but my anxiety is very extreme. It's debilitating. It's not just like a panic attack. It's like my whole body starts shaking, like I'm having a seizure. It's not something that you can just, my husband will run and grab me a couple of Valium and I have to like sit there and just, I just do this and I rock and and I can feel like my heart pounding in my neck. It's terrifying. So, maybe I'll try that before I get there. No, they don't go in a regular, car seat. They go in their wheelchairs. Where are the kids? They're right here. So there's Harrison, passed out. There's Riley, passed out. Otherwise, I'd need to be doing something with them. Can they sit in a baby swing? No, they're 45 inches long. So I really wish that there was like a way to have bigger, like maybe for adults, but when they make them for adults, the price tag increases by like 3 zeros. It's so stupid. When's the last time I did some self-care? Yesterday. I put these on. So that was like a whole like 5 minutes. Aren't they cute as crap? Like, I don't know if you can like see them. They're color straight and it's 2 layers. Yeah. Oh, I also did my toes. So, but they look really weird. It doesn't look good. And I took a shower like 3 days ago. And I guess that's considered self-care for me, really, just because I just stand there in the shower and it's like, I take a shower until the water runs cold. And I have a tankless water heater, so it's a really long time. How do I deal with them choking? I just run over there and suction them. And if they start coughing, I roll them to their side so that if they throw up, they don't aspirate on it, because if they're laying on their back and they'll choke to death. So I roll them to their side and then I suction them. Sometimes I have to give them atropine, which is drops that you put under the tongue that stop secretions in the mouth, because sometimes they get really bad. Oh my gosh, a hammock. What a freaking good idea. Dude, you're a fucking genius. I could just get them a hammock. Okay, you're awesome. Also, hi Morgan. Yeah, I got dogs. Where's Moose? Moose. I think Moose is outside. Oh, there he is. Come here, Moose Moose. Come here, Moose Moose. Hi, baby, come here. Come here, Moose Moose. Hi. Hi, Mousers. There's my Mouser pups. My babies. My babies. Come here, Gunner pupsies. Come here, Gunner pupsies. Oh, it's a good boy. That's a good boy, Gunner Pups. That's a good boy, Gunner Pups. Hi, my pupsies. Oh, my babies. Mama's babies. My babies. I love my dogs. They're like my soulmates, part of me. All right, you guys can go lay down. I'm sorry. Sorry I woke you up. Yes, I'm sorry. What does choking actually mean? So what they do is, you all right, bud? That shaking was one of the dogs hitting the table. So what they do is they're kind of laying there and they go like, you can hear them kind of like, it sounds like they have to clear their throat. Have you ever heard someone like just breathing and you're like, can you clear your throat, please? That's what it sounds like. And then, I kind of suction them then, but sometimes, it's all of a sudden where Riley just starts coughing and she turns blue and her oxygen levels drop. And so I have to suction until she can breathe again. Sometimes she coughs and gags to the point where she throws up. So that's what that looks like. It really is just choking. Like, have you ever choked on your own spit before? Or like inhale, like water goes down the wrong pipe where you feel like you're like, oh my God, and you're coughing a lot? That's what they feel like. That's how it works. How many dogs do I have? I have 2 boys. And they're both labs. How often does that happen? Like, it could be a few times a day, all the way up to like 50 times a day. It really doesn't, I don't know. You know what? I could also put the kids on a floaty in the pool. We're trying to get a pool for the backyard. I want to do like a saltwater pool. Because right now my friend's mom has a saltwater pool. But getting the kids all the way over there,
is a pain in the ass now. So just putting it in the backyard would be preferable. I have a son and 2 daughters. I have a 16-year-old daughter. Where can you find my P.O. box address? In my link in my bio, in my Beankins link, it'll say, do you want to send us something? And there's an address under there. The condition my kids have is infantile neuroaxonal dystrophy. And the beds are individual sections of memory foam. Harrison is sleeping in the background, yeah. Adopting, yes. But, hi Kinsley. I would... My husband and I are thinking about special needs adoption because I don't want to waste all of this knowledge, all of this love, all of this equipment. So we would think about special needs adoption, especially ones that are really severely disabled, because I know those are really hard to find homes for. How much sleep do I get? Is that a trick question? Like, I don't get sleep. That's funny. You're funny. No, I'm kidding. I get like maybe 3 or 4 hours a night, and then if it's my night to sleep, I sleep all night. Until I hear multiple suctioning, and then I go in and try to help my husband because I know he's got to work the next day. BH Slade. It'd be easier to give shout outs if people had like regular names, like user 4504427937492. Like that's hard to give a shout out to, you know what I mean? So if you wanted a shout out, just let me know what your real name is so I can say what your real name is instead of your username, because the usernames are sometimes I can't really tell what they are. Like there's Emily Shirk. I can give you a shout out because I know what your name is. Hold on one second. Blowing my nose. I didn't think anybody would like want to. Well then, hi Chloe. That's way better than user 45 blah 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 blah. Hi Luke. Do they nap during the day where I get to relax? Right now they're both napping, so yes. This is me relaxing because I'm talking to you guys, and it's quite therapeutic to just sit here and talk, actually. Can you do a day in the life? Okay. So I wake up, my day starts at 3 in the morning. I wake up, I give them their drugs. Then they start to smack their lips and choke, and they need to be suctioned a lot. So then the nurses get here at 7, and then I'll take a nap, and then I do like cleaning, laundry, stuff like that. On a weekend, I wake up at 3, give them their meds, do a lot of suctioning, try to go back to sleep. Then about 7 they wake up, and I bring them out here. I start their nebulizers, and I start their catheters, and then I go in the kitchen, I do their drugs, come back in here, do their drugs, then I reposition them, I change their G-tube covers and their shirts and their pants and put socks on them, and then I do their hair, I wash their faces, I put goop in their eyes and stuff on their lips, and then I do lotion on their hands and their feet because sometimes they're getting dry, and then by then it's time to give them drugs again, or another feed. So then I bring the IV poles from the bedroom in here, and then I hook that up, and then they get a feed for about an hour, and then I move them from their tables to, Riley goes to her wheelchair and Harrison goes to his chair right here, and then they stay there for about an hour or 2, and then it's time for another feed, and then they get their drugs about 2, and I catheterize them again. And then during all this time, I'm also like suctioning a lot. And then about 5, Riley likes to start choking a lot, which is like really crappy. And then Jason usually gets home about 6 or 7. And then about 6:30, I start the drugs again for nighttime. And then about 7 o'clock at night, we start their nebulizers. We catheterize them. We drug them. And then we start putting them to bed about 8:30 at night. And that's the Cliff Notes version. Today they're being really good. Hi, Luke. Belinda. I like your name. Croatia. Very cool. I do a YouTube. I have actually done YouTube before. I just don't do it very often because I keep forgetting about it. I also have a hard time keeping up with Instagram. I really just keep up with TikTok. Just because I can do like a 1-minute video and it doesn't take up my whole day. Yes, I have developed friendships with the nurses. They are amazing. I'm definitely friends with them, and they're like the only adult interaction I get, so I do come in here and I bug them, but we have a dynamic where they can be like, okay, it's time for me to, so you gotta, you know, but but in a nice way. They're amazing women, and Harrison's nurse is super classy and very, let's not say that mean stuff on TikTok, but she'll curse. Like, she and I all like curse at each other. While Riley's nurse, she doesn't curse, and she giggles every time I call Riley a punk ass bitch. But she's the one that's like, I support you. Like, if you want to do like a mean TikTok, like, you go for it. So they say that they parent me differently. So it is an interesting dynamic. I just love the shit out of both of them. Would I do it all again if I had the choice? Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah, their elbows get dry, and so their knees and their feet, so they get lotion before they get their clothes on. But I forgot to say that, so I put it after their clothes, but that's not really how it goes. Yes, I had anxiety and depression prior to the kid's diagnosis, but it wasn't as bad. Yes, special tomato chairs. We looked into that, but they are too rigid for the kids, so. Oh, Harrison's awake.
Here's your reminder. Check residual.
Paralyzed when you were 7. I'm sorry, Maddie. But it sounds like you're doing pretty good.
Here's your reminder.
So that
Check
means it's been an
residual.
hour. I'm going to go check residual, so I think I'm going to have to end the live so I can go grab their stuff, because I think once I check the residual, I'm going to have to go back and get their IV poles and bring them out here and then make formula. Oh, I also have to make food during the day, so there's fun for that too. How I don't complain about things. I bitch about it to my husband, but he's the only one that really hears it. I don't really have an opinion on Ariana Grande. I think she's got a good voice, but I don't know anything that's going on in the news or in politics. I have no idea. I'm living under a rock, so. But I'm having a better day today. Natalie is still sleeping. I'm going to probably go wake her up because it's almost 11. Freaking punk. Can I bring you with me? Yeah, I guess so. So, I'm going to check everybody's residual. Do you guys want to see what residual looks like? It's going to be kind of gross. So, if you don't want to see stomach contents, then I would suggest averting your eyes, okay? But I'm going to show you how I check residual, okay? So, I go over here and I grab their G-tube, okay? So, what I'm looking for is to see if their stomach is full or not. If they can have a meal. So I pull, and if it's more than 30, then they're not ready to have another feed. So he's not ready. So what I do is I push it back in, and then I push it with 30. When I say push, so I push 30, which means I flush the tube with 30 milliliters of water. Because they digest better when there is water, so I push water. And so now, I'm gonna say the A word, okay? So, turn down the volume first. Yeah, that's from inside the stomach, yes. Alexa, in 30 minutes, remind me to check Harrison's residual.
Okay, I'll remind you in 30 minutes.
All right. Good job, Buddykins. Good job. So, because he's got residual, I'm going to probably move him over to his chair so he's sitting up. Over there where my snacks are. All right, so here's Riley's residual. Let's see what she's got going on. Hold on. Hi, baby gross. Shit. Okay, well, let me just drop everything, okay? Can I do that? All right, let's see. Here is hers. Pumpkin. She's probably gonna need to go in her wheelchair here in a minute. All right, so let's see what yours is like. So I'm pulling out air. This would be like a burp. So what I do is I push the air out. And it smells like a burp. It smells like that, so it's kind of fun. So I pull that out and I see if she's ready for a feed. And she's not. She's got more than 30. So both of them are going to get 30 milliliters of water. And then I'll check again in 30 minutes to see if the residual has gone down. And then after 30 minutes, if the residual has not gone down, I'll give them a feed, but I won't make it as fast as it normally is. I'll give them at a slower rate. So what they do is, what am I doing? No, this does not cause discomfort. It just kind of feels a little bit weird, like when you swallow something cold, how you can feel it in your stomach. That's kind of what it feels like. So what I do is I pull out the stomach contents to see if they've got more than 30 milliliters, which is right here. And if they have more than that in their stomach, then that means that they're too full to get a G-tube feed. And so what I do is I push 30 milliliters of water, I wait 30 minutes, and I check it again. If they have more than 30 again, I wait 10 more minutes without pushing any water,